Want to create a course but don't know where to start? This video is for you because I'm going to talk about how I'm using ChatGPT to accelerate the four-part process that I go through every time I want to launch a new offer. Be sure to stay until the end because I'm going to tell you about some free resources that you can use to implement everything that I'm going to teach you today. And lastly, before I get started, I'd really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel for more AI and business strategies for coaches and course creators. Okay, so let's dive in. The first part of this process that I go through when I create and launch a new offer is planning and refining my course idea. So you need direction about your offer. Like before you can start creating anything, you have to have a really clear understanding of what it is you're building and who it's for. So the way I use ChatGPT for this stage of the process is first to have a very clear picture, to paint a clear picture of my ideal client avatar. Sometimes I also use the term buyer persona. Basically, thinking through in detail who they are, what they struggle with, what their goals are, and what kind of results they're seeking. So I give ChatGPT some information about my business and give it like a general picture of who I work with, but then I converse with ChatGPT about digging into that buyer persona for my course and making lists of pain points and challenges as one list, and then goals, aspirations, motivations as another list. And then the second part of that is that once we have that detailed picture of the ideal client avatar, I work with ChatGPT to come up with a topic and a specific title for my course that addresses the pain points of my ideal clients and promises them a result that they're seeking, or promises them some kind of transformation that would be appealing to them. So basically, the course is positioned as a solution to their pain points and also a roadmap that leads them through a process to get the result that they want at the end of the day. So ChatGPT is really instrumental to me in figuring these things out, the basic like overall plan and positioning for the course. The second thing that I use ChatGPT for is outlining basically the content of the course, what it's going to include. And this is part of the process that where I see a lot of my clients and new course creators struggle. A very common question they ask me is what content to include or how much content to include, because many people who are creating courses are experts in a given area, and they have a lot to say about that topic, right? So recording a course on that topic a lot of times can feel overwhelming because in your head you're thinking, I can talk for like hours and hours and hours, and there's so many different things that I can teach about this course. Like, how do I narrow it down, or how do I figure out what to include in the course and what to leave out? So this is a place where ChatGPT can help you. First of all, you can just continue the chat that you started in the first step where you were talking about your ideal client avatar, their pain points, their goals, and then a course that addresses those things, right? And so then you can say to ChatGPT, I want to continue with that by next outlining all of the modules and lessons of the course. So basically, a module is like a category or a milestone in the overall process that you're leading people through in the course, starting from where they are now, having this specific set of questions and problems to where they want to be by the end of the course. And, there are probably like some big stepping stones that they have to go through in order to get the result at the end. And then the lessons are the individual teaching points within each of those modules or milestones. So ChatGPT, you can work with ChatGPT to come up with an outline of those modules and lessons and have that outline correspond with the overall promise of the course, and have the outline be like basically the content that your ideal client needs to follow in order to get their desired results. And then to take things a step further, ChatGPT can generate ideas for resources that you can include alongside the video training in your course to help your students to better understand or implement what they're learning. Because we want to remember that a course really isn't about providing information. And if all you do is provide information, then your course may not be effective at getting people a win or results. Really, you should think of a course not as providing information, but as providing a transformation. So if there are any resources that you can include in addition to the video, such as a workbook, a checklist, a template, things like that, like where people can watch the training, but then sit down and go through the process themselves, implement it, and see progress, and then they'll be motivated to go on to the next step. That's really what makes a course effective. That's what's going to get your students results, which in turn is going to get you great testimonials and feedback and referrals and things like that. So anyway, ChatGPT can help you think about what resources you can offer that would complement the video training. So that's step 2, is outlining the course content with ChatGPT. The third step of the process that I use AI for is pre-selling the course. So after I have my detailed course plan, the topic, the title, the ideal client avatar, and an outline of all the content, I don't start creating it. And this is a mistake that a lot of people make, is they jump right into making slides and videos and, setting up, just trying to make it pretty and editing and things like that. And all of those things are super time consuming, and it's risky because if you create the content and then try to sell it and nobody buys because you haven't validated your idea, you haven't assessed whether there's demand for it, you just wasted time and energy and resources. So what I recommend instead is pre-selling the course, where you tell people about it. You say, I'm going to create this course. You see if people enroll in it. And then if they do enroll, then you start creating the content, because now your idea has been validated and you can get paid to create it. You get the money up front and then you create the content. And what you do is you just stay one step ahead of your students. So first of all, between the sale and the time that you release the content, there could be like a week, maybe like 2 weeks, maybe 3 or 4, right? So you can get at least the first module or the first 2 modules ready. And then as your students are going through module 1, you're creating module 2. Then when they go through 2, you're creating 3, and so on and so forth. So you're building it out, being one or 2 modules ahead of your students. So that's how pre-selling works. But anyway, the way that I use ChatGPT for pre-selling is to help me primarily write copy for my sales page and my sales emails, because that's how I promote this offer. And you don't necessarily, I'm saying ChatGPT because that's what I'm using at this time. You can use Claude or you can use another AI platform. It doesn't really matter, like whatever works for you and what you're comfortable with and get the best results from is fine. But anyway, so ChatGPT helps me write the copy, and it does a good job because at this point in the conversation, it already knows who I'm targeting with my sales copy. It already knows how to position my course as a solution to their questions and pain points, and what to feature in my course to convince people that the course is going to get them the results that they want. So it has all of this information and it can produce the sales copy and emails pretty quickly. I do, of course, edit them. I want to make sure that any copy that I get out of ChatGPT ultimately sounds like me and is how I want to come across to my clients. So well, first of all, I'll go through a few different iterations with ChatGPT. So I don't just take the first version of what it spits out and go with that. I go back and forth and I ask it to maybe elaborate on one thing or cover a certain other thing that it missed, or maybe condense and simplify another part of the page, like things like that. So we go back and forth through a few different iterations, um, and until I get a version that I'm pretty happy with, and then I might do some more tweaking. Um, but this whole process is so much faster than it used to be before ChatGPT came around because I'm not starting from scratch. So you can really crank out this optimized, effective sales copy and emails pretty quickly, and that helps you launch your course pretty fast. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to using ChatGPT for selling, what I just talked about, the sales page and the sales emails. You can also use it to help you come up with different launch strategies, create detailed launch plans and processes where you have like a detailed checklist and timeline of what you need to do and when. And it can also help you refine your marketing and sales materials. So when you get to the point where you've already launched and sold your course and now you want to grow and you want to get even more people into your offer, you can take that, the foundational materials that you started with for selling your course, and then use AI to optimize them to convert even better. And then the fourth part of the process that I use ChatGPT for is creating and editing the actual course content after I enroll my students, right? So I started out with planning the course, just the idea for it and the topic and the ideal buyer persona. The second step was I outlined the content. And the third step is I pre-sold it. But at this point, I haven't created the lessons. So now I use ChatGPT to basically tell me slide by slide what to say in my videos, how to structure each lesson and specifically what to say. Some people like a word for word script for their videos, and you can use ChatGPT to produce that. Personally, I'm not a follow a script kind of person. So what I do is I use ChatGPT to give me the framework to follow for the lesson, and then I record myself talking through the slides. And then you can also use AI. There are various platforms like Descript that allow you to use AI to edit your videos. You can also use AI to create images for your launch. So for example, like a mock-up image of your course, or images that you can use during your launch on social media, or images that go on the sales page. And finally, you can use AI to make the resources that go inside your course that I was talking about earlier, the things like the checklists and the workbooks, or any other materials like PDF downloads that you want to include inside the course. So those are the 4 steps of the process for creating, selling, and delivering an online course that I use AI for. And now I want to tell you about some free resources, as I promised, that are going to help you with various aspects of the process that I just discussed. So one is my course niche idea generator. So this is a free resource. It's a custom GPT. So some people refer to that as an AI assistant, but it's basically like a tool that lives inside ChatGPT, and you can use it with the free plan of ChatGPT, and it will prompt you, it'll ask you for some basic information about your business, what you do, who you serve, and then it'll spit out 10 different course ideas for you that are specific to your business. They're not generic. So if you're having trouble with that first step that I talked about, coming up with the topic for your course, and actually kind of like the first and second step where you need help with brainstorming for course topic, title, content, this freebie is going to help you with that. The second free resource is my free training called Shortcut to Sales. And this is a training that goes much deeper into that pre-selling strategy that I mentioned. So it walks you through my process and my timeline for taking a course idea and starting to sell it in just a couple of weeks. So there's a link to sign up for that below. And then the third free resource is a 30-day free trial to the platform that I use for growing my audience, selling my courses, delivering my content, and serving my students both through course content, community, coaching calls, things like that. And that is called Kajabi. So you can get a free 30-day trial plus a bonus package for me as a thank you for signing up with my referral link. And again, you can find that below this video. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below and I'll reply to everyone.